Emergency vehicles are still present in the Parliamentary precinct following a fire that broke out at the institution yesterday morning. 3 of the Houses of Parliament, the National Assembly, the NCOP and the Old Assembly were damaged by the fire. For an update, let's cross live now to Lulama Matya outside Parliament. A very good morning to you, Lulama. What's the latest?
Good morning, Desiree. We here in Parliament, we just spoke to the mayoral committee member of the City of Cape Town, J.P. Smith, who is saying that the fire engines inside here are preparing to leave the site. They have contained the fire that gutted down 3 Houses of Parliament, the National Assembly, the NCOP and the Old Assembly Chamber. I am joined by ANC Chief Whip Mampemi Majodina, who is going to talk to us about this extensive damage that has been done here, what it means to them, because mostly the offices that their offices, members of Parliament, the Speaker of Parliament, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, the NCOP chairperson, as well as the Deputy NCOP chairperson, are all in those buildings that have been affected. Mampemi, extensive damage, what does it mean to you as public representatives?
This situation is very much devastating. I just hope that it was not out of a man-made and intentional to come and sabotage Parliament. It is quite painful and very emotional about this because we are sent here by the public to represent them. And when they look at the walls of Parliament, they always have hope. But I want to assure the public that the walls have human beings that are supposed to be inside those halls. All the human beings are still alive. We're going to do our work robustly. And as ANC, this is for the second time. The March 17, 2020 fire affected my office, the Chief's office, and other 10 ANC members. Now is the entire block of the ANC, including the speakers. So we are saying we're not going to give up. We're still going to do our work. Let's allow the law enforcement to do their work, and they must not leave any stone unturned, and they must investigate without any fear or favor. They must do their work. We as members of Parliament, we're going to do our work. If it means we must go up Table Mountain, we must go to the field and do our work, we're going to do that. We're elected to do robust oversight, not only to sit inside Parliament chambers, but we also go out and do our oversight. So nothing is going to stop. We're going to do our work and make it a point that we change the lives of our people. Our people are looking upon on us. And I want to request all my citizens of South Africa, all members of Parliament, that let's stop speculation. There is nothing about Zondo Commission report that is coming to Parliament. The report is not here yet. The report is still with me, Judge Zondo. It's not here yet. When that report is out, we're going to get the report. And we are going to be robust on that report. If we have to act on the report, any report for that matter, we're going to act on it. We're not going to stop at anything as members of Parliament just because of this fire. If this fire was meant to make us not to focus, then hard luck, we're going to do our work.
You're going to do your work, but if you can be maybe specific for the constituencies, the voters that have sent you here, how are you going to do it when your equipment, we suppose, is inside here?
Yes, we have equipment here in Parliament, but we also have equipment in the constituency offices. We are also going to check how much time can we devote to do our constituency work and be able to interact with our communities, because communities are used to see Parliament sitting on such and such days. How can we then roll out that to go closer to our people? That is what we are going to be discussing at 12 o'clock in the Multi-Party Chief Whips Forum that I'm chair of, to say how do we then move forward. State of the Nation address is going to be there. The budget day is going to be there. Whether we meet on virtual or at any corner, we're going to do our work unreservedly.
any confidential and important documents that you think have been destroyed by the fire?
Of course. There are archives here in Parliament where we store important information. You have ethics report that were to be finalized. Others were finalized just before Parliament closed in December. So there are other reports that are in the advanced stage to be presented in Parliament. If you look at the order papers on daily basis, it says further business. So all those further business reports are stored here in Parliament. But I believe that the main server is linked somewhere and might be able to retrieve important documents from the main server.
Ma'am, there have been calls for this institution to relocate from Cape Town. Your comments on that, especially now or with this current situation whereby that call now is gaining momentum to say it's about time that Parliament relocates to a central area accessible by all South Africans?
If that debate has been there, be that as may, the seat of Parliament is there in the Constitution. It says the seat of Parliament is in Cape Town. So we have to start by amending the Constitution before you move. Then you must be sure of the budget, and it cannot take 6 months or a year to build a Parliament, and therefore we must be able to use whatever resource that we have to ensure that Parliament works. But this call that now, because there was fire, some people are rejoicing that we've been saying Parliament must go to Pretoria, to me it's very much premature. We must be worried and be concerned as citizens that our institution, our democratic institution that we have transformed has burnt down, more than wanting to just move. But you move to where? Do you have a budget to move Parliament there? Certainly not. The country is in the financial cliff. How can we just willy-nilly think of moving Parliament? It's just not on. It just needs people to think thoroughly before taking such decisions.
Ma'am, there are allegations by Nehau that on the early morning of the fire that night, their members, that is the Parliament Protection Services, was not here on guard. They have been told that not to work on public holidays and on weekends due to budgetary constraints. Your comments on that?
We were not informed of that up until yesterday when the chairperson of Nehau briefed me. I then said we must investigate that because we are not operational in terms of administrative role. Why were they not at work? So the meeting that is sitting now at 10 o'clock with the Speaker, that's one thing that we're going to get information on, as well as the meeting of the Multi-Party Chiefs Forum at 12 o'clock to understand why were they not on duty. Because you cannot have a national key point that is not guarded. I mean, it is a requirement. So the acting secretary and the management, they must be able to account fully on what transpired. Why were there no people on the posts?
Talking about accountability, who is supposed to be accountable, to take accountability for protection services not on duty that day?
The acting secretary for Parliament is the overall leader of the administrative capacity. There is a unit that is also working very close with the protection unit services. Therefore, all those people must be able to account fully what has happened. If it's budgetary constraint, where have they raised that thing? Remember, Parliament, we pass budgets. We pass budget of Parliament, but there was no stage where we were informed that the protection services are going to be withdrawn on such and such date. What has caused that? Then it's a big question that must be responded to.
Do you think, ma'am, this is a blow to the ruling party? Because at the end of the day, it's the ANC that is in government. Do you think that this is a blow to the party, that a national key point can burn like this?
Not to the party as such. Yes, we are a majority party, but when it comes to administrative, that is public service. So I cannot really want to take a blame now to say it is us. We don't run operations or daily operations of Parliament. They are people, officials that are meant to do that. So that is why I don't want to speculate to say yes, it was the protection services were withdrawn or not. I don't know. I heard from Nehau and a week ago, the House sent their intention to go on strike because of some of the things that they were not happy about, and we're still discussing those matters. We're going to finalize them now in January. Unfortunately, this has been out, but having looked at those demands, the 6 demands, the demand about the withdrawal of the protection services was not there. So I don't know when it has happened.
You're talking about this is the second fire. In the first fire, ANC offices were affected. The damage was not extensive as this one. The report that was compiled, what was done by that report?
The report that I got, which I demanded from the Chief Whip's Forum, from the acting secretary, the report said it was an electric fault. Somebody might have left aircon unattended for a long time because people were working from their homes, and Parliament was attending to that. Even now, when this fire broke yesterday, that my main offices were not as yet repaired because the Parliament was saying these offices are not easy to repair because of the old structure, and therefore for you to do certain things you have to consult the heritage agency because they are under that auspices. So you don't do anyhow when you want to renovate such a building, because this is a heritage site. Therefore you have to go within the policy of how heritage sites are renovated.
Thank you very much for your time, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Okay. That was the ANC Chief Whip, Umampemi Majodina, talking to us. With that, let me take it back to you, Desiree.
Lulama, I hope to speak to you later. Let's take a look at your headlines now.